Hello, 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 and welcome to Bridging Through Conversation, Closing the Gap. We're doing a word series, and the word for today is unity. And I guess is Leslie Brisden. I think I'm saying her last name right. She's going to say it right when she comes on. Um, but tonight we're going to talk about unity, and um, a lot of times when we talk about these words, they in a combination of words that we have said before, that we talked about before. We talked about emotions, we talked about racism, we talked about prejudice, we talked about hate, and we talked about love. And all of those things combined together um, seems to break us from unity. And so today we're going to talk about how there's strength in unity. Without unity, it seems like, that they're saying that they say, together we stand and divided we fall. And that is how I feel about when we're not unified with each other, that we'll begin to fall and the dominoes will begin to tumble down. So we're going to talk about that tonight. And of course, you know that I am going to do a disclaimer because these are our opinions, and I don't want anyone to think that we're talking about them when we get deep into this conversation. So I'm going to read off our disclaimer, okay? This platform discusses any and all information that is known to the public and that are opinions of the host and guests. We use sources that are unconventional and conventional. Bridging through conversations is no way to be offensive to any person, groups, or organization. It creates open conversations needed to close gaps in topics others may not be willing to discuss. The information is alleged to others, but are our truths to having open conversation. Okay. All righty. So, with that said, I'm going to bring on my guest for tonight. Okay. Hey, 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 Leslie. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you
Oh,
so much for inviting me on.
thank you, thank you, thank you for accepting. Now, I know I messed up your last name, but can you introduce yourself and let the audience know who you are?
Yes, Leslie Brissendine rhymes
President.
with Frankenstein, rhymes with sunshine, and I had a little boy tell me it rhymed with quarter hind. So I guess his daddy was a deer hunter, but that's Brissendine.
Okay, Brizendine. I stumbled right on over it. I said Brizendine. Yeah, okay. But if I would have broke those syllables down, I would have had it right. Okay. So tonight we're gonna let me back first. I'm gonna let you know how I met Miss Leslie. I think it was in August. Was it August when we did the retreat?
Yes.
In August, we went to St. Simmons, Georgia, right? To the island. And it was gorgeous. It was so beautiful. We went there. I went there for a retreat. It was my very first time going with Bishop Jim Swirly, right? And who was there? No other than Miss Leslie. And it seemed like we just connected. And it was awesome. It was awesome, awesome, awesome. And I'm looking forward to Chattanooga, Tennessee. And I hope that she will be there, huh? Yeah, all righty. Well, we're gonna see each other face to face again.
That's
But
right.
anyway, that is where I met her, and again, it was just a connection with us, and I just love her so much, and I thank her so much for coming on tonight. So we're gonna get started talking about unity. So what I want to start out with, Leslie, is that what is your definition of unity?
Well, I think it starts internally and then it manifests externally. And it is a feeling of wholeness, be it wholeness within myself, wholeness, the two of us together, uh, a million together. It's an idea, a principle, an essence of who you are that finds the person that carries that also, like a sacred contract.
Okay.
And that you feel unified. And that's what I feel with you, that, we were meant to meet. We're meant to be doing this now, talking together, because that's what we represent. We represent unity, and we didn't have to strive for it or, dig deep. It just is in front of us because we're open. We're open to being unified.
Yeah. And I like that last part, open to be unified. And when you say that now, I think about how our world is going, that they're not open to be unified. And that's where, like I said earlier, where the strength come in. In Psalms, it tells us that God is our refuge and strength, always ready to help us in times of trouble. And that means that He is there. That's our strength. He's our stronghold that bring us together with Him. That unification that makes the strength for His people, right? And that's the only way that we are truly going to survive, is to be unified. Because really, really and truly, when you really think about it, we can't live without each other.
No, no. And I just think about all the people that are with us now in spirit.
Yeah.
And generations and generations of trying to connect, and religion tearing us apart.
Mm-hmm.
And yet the spirit in us just groans. We groan for understanding, for unity,
Yeah.
for growth, for good change. Good trouble brings good change.
Yeah.
So, I love John Lewis. I just always have
Me
to
too.
invoke him.
Yeah, me too. Good trouble bring good trouble. Good sources, good resources in our
Yes.
life, right? And so with what's going on in this in our society, in this world, how do we begin to bring that back, bring unity back? I always think about, I'm a 60 born baby, right? I'm 59. I was born in 62. So that means I was raised up in the 70s and the 80s with nothing but peace and love and happiness, right? So, so my thing is that I just enjoy people and just love people, right? And it seemed like that now, it seemed like it's a fork in it. And that when you go outside, when you go places and you speak, it's just like people just look straight ahead and just keep walking, right? There's no like eye contact, there's no like conversations, to be able to gain that unification back again. So how do we begin to get back, to way we used to be, to say, that we all could sit down together and just enjoy one another, instead of all of that, the tension is so tight within this world that we can't even agree to disagree anymore. That's big, ain't it?
Yes, it is. And I know that I have really, because I'm 65, that I have finally, now I won't claim too much, but I have finally come to a point of understanding that it's just got to be about me.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to be able to affect change if I am not whole. It starts with me. And I just know that before we went on the meditation weekend, that I just had a feeling of expectation, and I was excited about it. And then as soon as we came together, I was like, oh, yes. There's just always that that unity that's created when we're not impatient, when we don't have the agenda, when we just can stay in ourselves and trust.
Yeah.
So trust is just a really big part of unity, because if we watch the news, then we might not trust anyone. We might not trust our neighbor.
Yeah.
We're certainly not going to trust people that don't look like us, sound like us, walk, talk, think like. It's just, it sets it all up. So I just always need to come back to the spirit, to the breath,
Yeah.
and just trust and blind faith. I can't see it, I don't know, but I trust. And patience is part of unity.
Mm-hmm.
John Lewis died, and things were in chaos here.
Yeah.
But you know, he's on the other side with all the others. So I really call on the cloud of witnesses for unity.
Mm-hmm.
And I look to the young voices, the young, beautiful children that have grown up with different challenges that we had, but yet that they can be connected all over the world to people. There's people seeking unity everywhere.
Yeah.
So the young people give me a lot of hope.
Yeah. Yeah, we have to look to them now, don't we?
Right. That's right. And so I like to promote self-care. You know, think about how does it feel in your heart? Whatever it is, just how does it feel in your heart? And if it's the spirit, it's going to, even if it corrects you, it's going to be with love, with gentleness, with lifting up. So, you know, dwell on those things. And the plans that you have in your heart, doors will open, doors will close.
Yeah.
And they needed to close. And it's just, it's an acceptance. And then you know that even if you don't see it in your lifetime, that this is your portion, that this is your part. And every day you have the joy of just knowing, I don't know exactly what I planted, but I planted it with intention. I planted it with love, and it's going to bear fruit, and it's going to be good fruit.
Yeah.
It's going to be the fruit of unity.
Yeah.
We're all at the table, and the banner over us is love.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that. When we were at St. Simons.
Mm-hmm.
Simons. Why I keep saying Simmons, St. Simon. One of the ladies made a statement that really touched my heart when we were doing the sunrise, right? And it made me think about, you know, unification. She said, I'm see if you remember her. She told us, she said she enjoyed this because she came into an environment, you know, and she looked around and she saw all groups of people, you know, like not like black, white, heterosexual, same gender. And she said it was just all kinds of people, right? And we were unified in that retreat, right? And every time I think about the retreat, I think about what she said, because I didn't really like notice it because I'm a chaplain in the hospital, so I see this. You know, we all, you know, work together, and I just see all groups of people, right? But when I think back at that retreat, it was, and we were unified, and it was like, even though we didn't know people, you know some of the people, we were still like, you know, embracing and like genuine love, right?
Yeah.
And I was and when I was on my way home, my thought was, God, what a wonderful world this would be. You know, if people could have seen that, and then it would have been like a disease, and
That's right.
everybody, would start, doing that. It wouldn't be like my friend David is on here. I have a friend named David, and he's on here, and he said this is what he said when he put this on him. That's what made me think about it. Came back. The devil loves chaos, the division everywhere. Everything is political. Even Christianity and religion has become political, right? But at that moment when we was at that retreat, it was like it wasn't no religion, it wasn't no heads, it wasn't no it was just everybody was together. And it was just like the gods, of the universe just came in and said, this is going to be the example of what I would desire for my people to do, to be unified in this way, to be mixed up like a rainbow. And that's what we were. You remember, like the rainbow that came out,
Yes.
right? We were mixed up, like a rainbow. And it was no negative, outbreaks, no negative, nothing. It was just like the energy. The energy just boosts us, to make that love just keep coming out and keep embracing, each other, right? So within that, and what David said about how it's so much chaos around here, how in the world do we begin to bring that unification even back in our worship places? Because that is where the chaos started. I mean, and there's no unification there. It's just all like, I don't know, you know?
Well, and I think about the chaos of me trying to do the technology to be on the show, and how easy I could have said, oh, I don't know how to do this. This is, so it's stepping out of your comfort zone is what I'm saying. You don't know what you say, how it's going to influence somebody. So, just being that willing vessel of, I can't plan anything. That's not how it works. But just, just waking up in the morning and knowing that, okay, I have a part to play. I'm going to show up. I'm going to show out. I'm going to do this because this is my time. This is our season. So much has gone before and so much is needed right now. And it's just a time for people to step out of their comfort zone. They've already had to do that because of the pandemic. It's a new world.
Yeah.
And it's time for people to show up.
Yeah.
And the planet needs us. We can't do that alone. A few people. Everybody has to do their part. Mm-hmm. We just have to care. We have to vote like we care. Yeah. And we have to be all right in the, okay, I made somebody's day better because I held the door open.
Right.
If that's what I did, mm-hmm. I did it with, I just feel like that all the people that have died and all of their dreams and visions and hopes, they're still here. Mm-hmm. That energy, they were taken quickly, and now families are left to cope, and we don't know what the future holds. And so it's just really a moment to self-care and let that flow out. Let that unity inside flow out to the world. And we don't have to have a plan. We just have to be willing. And when we're willing, there it is, whatever we need to do. And if it's not, then a sign will be shown. Somebody could cuss me out and they might say something in the middle of that I'll think, that's the word I was looking for, because you just have to have ears to hear.
Yeah.
And you can't shy away from what's in front of you.
Yeah.
And if the Lord says turn to the left, to the right, be obedient to what you hear. And if you're not calm and whole and unified on the inside, you're not going to hear, because it's just going to be all that noise.
Yeah.
And the Spirit speaks softly, so that you lean in and that you join, and your spirit is so clear, the clear lake. You're just like that, heron that's out there in the water, just very still, waiting patiently. There's that fish, flip it up, receive, because I was clear and I waited and I heard. I moved when it was time to move. So I think that I just really want to encourage everyone to seek unity in yourself, and it will manifest around you. We just all have to be responsible for our energy, our part.
Yeah.
And loving somebody is the only way that they're going to be moved, because we're not going to change them.
Mm-mm. No. No.
It's hard enough to try to change yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. So we know we're not going to change people, but love can do things that,
Yeah.
Love is what it's all about. And there is so much chaos. But my oldest son is a physicist, and he says that good is always just a little ahead of that evil, because when you have machinations and you have plans, that you're thinking about that, but love just flows. It's a natural thing. So I don't have to stop and think how I'm going to present this. It just is.
Yeah.
And so I just like to think that we're all good. Love, it's always out front. It's the winner.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm putting my faith.
Yeah. And I like that. because you are what you saying that, you make me think about the 70s, that the hippies and the peace signs and the love is love. And there's when you spread it, it'll catch on fire and it'll attract, it'll gravitate to all that's around it. And that's what we hope, and we have to have hope into knowing that, just like that sign that's over your head, I am the revolutionary, right? And that's who we have to be. We have to be that person that's gonna show that love and continue to bring that unification in, with the other people, right? So this out here, when I was talking about our retreat, right? It says, but how many were able to carry that same feeling out beyond the safety of the group? I was talking about when we went to the islands, right? And I don't know about the others in the group, and they probably feel the same way I do. But I think every last person that was at that retreat with us came out that same way. That's unified, because a lot of them are friends now, right? Yeah. And they're still showing that same love and that same gathering, even online. It's still like a gathering, with the group. So it's not like it can't be done, but it just seemed like everybody have their own agendas, right? And when you have your own agendas other than what the universe would desire for us to have, then there's going to be some falling away. And so what I'm saying, a falling away.
Well, and listen, that to me is like, that's okay if it's just a few, because the little red hen, she did it all herself. Yeah. And they'll show up when they need something.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, I'm gonna call them dead weight, because if you are not adding to, or if you can't even just hold the line, then you got to go. And that's, I think, what's so beautiful about us being online like this, because I know I've been in a building with 3,000 people, and I'm so in the spirit, and I'm thinking that everybody that's in there, that they're feeling that same power and love and acceptance and embrace, and but no, not so much.
Not so much.
So I am a political person. I'm a political activist, and I will just say that if you still have a Trump sign in your yard, I'm like, thank you, because I know that I don't need to even walk by, because I'm not casting my pearls before swine. The evangelicals, evangel is to bring the good news, and I, that to me is like taking something like Uncle Tom's Cabin that changed my life when I was 7 years old, and then turning it into something else that the original story didn't mean. It was abolitionists saying, this is terrible, let's do something about this. That was unity. And that changed the course of history. It had to be changed, and then it was a woman that said, I'm going to write this story because I'm going to try to connect with people on a human level. And Abraham Lincoln credits her with helping everything that came after. So I'm okay with everybody at the table. I welcome you, but if you got some stinking thinking, then you just need to work that out before you come to the table, because where we are is about love, and love it'll cover everything. Just lay it down and partake. So I have to temper that rage that I feel about indifference to human suffering, indifference to what's being done to the planet, because these babies being born, they deserve to have clean air and good water without lead. I mean, this is what love does. It changes things. It makes it better. It makes wisdom and justice come together. And as I say, whether I see it or not, that's what I'm about. And that's what you're about. And that's what so many people are about. And that's what we're doing. We're just saying, hey, we're just like you. We know that we can't maybe say, oh, this is what we've done, but we know in our heart this is what we've done, and that is more than, that's what I want, and that's what you want, and that's what God wants.
And I think that that last part, you always hit me with your last statement, that when we think about what God would desire for us to have, it seems like we always want to, the word of God says it's better to obey than to sacrifice, right? But we always want to do the sacrificing part and not obey, because when you talk about sacrifice, that's an outward appearance thing, that somebody gonna see you do stuff, right? I need to be seen, so they'll know that I have, done something. But the word of God said it's better to obey. And when he say that it's better to obey him, meaning that the obeying part is that we should love, because love, like you said, covers a multitude of things, right? We can't change anybody, right? But I think when you love someone, that it'll bring understanding, even though we have different opinion on things, because I think everybody should have their own opinion. I don't want to change. I don't want nobody to be a robot or anything like that, or be in a cult or anything like that. Everybody should have their own opinion. But when you love someone, you can sit down at the table, like you said, and we can have a decent conversation to unify with some kind of solution, right? Because when we bickering at each other, that's no kind of unify. That's not unifying with each other. That's like how you do the magnets and you try to put both of them together, and it just keep doing like that, and you keep trying to put it together, right? And it's just not gonna work, But when you just sit at the table like decent people and have a awesome conversation, then you can begin to come together and find solution, because then you may find out that we have something in common, but you don't know that until you have that conversation. But nobody is willing to have that sit down at the table, conversation with each other. But I just feel like I did a sermon one time talking about light, the difference between light and darkness, right? And one thing about light, I don't care how dark it is somewhere, right? If you stick a pen in something and the light just shine in just a little bit, right? It's going to begin to overshadow that darkness, right? So even though the darkness of this world trying to just press us on, every side, right? Once somebody come in there with some light, right? Can't do nothing but begin to move back, because the light in the room is going to start expanding and doing what it needs to do, within the room, when we don't faint, because a lot of times we bring in that darkness and we see the bringing the light, and we see that darkness is coming, towards us, we faint. But no, God don't want us to faint. He said we should, mount up on some wings. We walk and not be weary, and run and not faint, in this walk with him, to be unified, to begin to love people and things. So like you say, when we do begin to just continue to be ourselves, bring that light into the room, continue to bring that light into the room, and something has to happen. I don't care what nobody say. Something is going to happen when you stand and do not faint. You can't faint. I don't care how how the blood be rushing up to your head because you don't know what's going to happen. Don't faint. Just stand still and know that God, He's going to be there right there with you, so that when you open your mouth, He's going to give you what you need to say.
Right.
Yeah. Wait a minute. What is that? Yeah. So we just need to begin to be ourselves, express ourselves, and just be who we are. Just love. Just love. Okay, somebody on my Twitter top screen lad. Yeah. So just love. So what you think about that? The light and the darkness and unifying them. Sometimes you got to unify them together, but we just gotta show up and show out.
The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness cannot overtake it. So
Take it. That's right. Unify and
and I love how the unity candles when a couple marries and they join their flame together. And I'm a farmer, and I love to clear the land, make it beautiful, take care of things. And so for decades now, I burn almost every day. I have a fire. Okay. And I see us. I see that the love is the fire, and people, they see it, and they come, they start, what is this? What's happening over here? I feel warmth. I feel, that this is someplace that I'm welcome, and that I can, come and get what I need and rest for a moment and recharge and go back out. So I don't want to sound like, oh, I just go around doing good all the time. I'm so pious. Yeah. But it's what I get off on. I love.
Yeah.
And so I just, when I go to bed at night and somebody has somebody has gone into recovery, or they've gotten pregnant, or, after years of
Yeah.
just whatever the miracle is.
Yeah.
Or they went, my mother died of Alzheimer's. It was such a happy day because she was free.
Right.
It's just every day, just wonderful things happening. And I'm proud that I got to witness that I got to be a part of that people trusted me with their prayers and their heart's desire and their longings and their discovery of themselves, because that's what I want. I want children, I want women, I want everyone to be empowered.
Yeah.
To know how special they are, that how set apart they are, that they're here at this time for this mission that we're on.
Right.
And so it makes me emotional.
Yeah. Yeah. I understand that, and that's true. And I had written on here that, unity brings power. When we unify with each other, it brings power. See, alone we can accomplish things, but together we create movements that brings tangible change and a future of hope. And that's what you're saying. When we come together, when we're really compassionate about individuals, right? And bring it together, we come together with it, then we begin to be passionate, and we begin to get strength, from it. And there's power, power within that. So we got to make sure that we continue to be. One thing that I'm going to tell you, one thing that I learned from Bishop Swilly, right, is that now I was already like that, but then every time when I look at him, one thing that I just love about him is his genuineness, right? And if we would truly be that, we could have more unity and to bring that together. But we got to be genuine about who we are, and don't let other people push us into going to a side that's not even us, because we have a lot of loving people here. But it seemed like that we will get brainwashed with things that's not
that are not even important.
That's not even
they
important.
Don't even
Thank
mean
you.
anything.
Don't even mean that.
Meaningless.
That's right. You see those? All things, yeah. So, and it don't. So we got to make sure that we just and just be unapologetic about who you are, and just live, who you are, and we just love each other. When I did this one live about Isaiah 43, when they talk about how God is going to bring a new thing, right? And it's about, haven't you heard? Don't you see? What he's brought, right? And that's his son, and the bringing the love and the being with all people, right? Because when we think about when Jesus walked, right, on this earth, he walked with everybody. He didn't have no respect of person, right? And he genuinely loved all of the people that he walked with and showed them something new, right, that they couldn't experience, right? And this is what God would desire for us to continue to do, this new thing, to be with all people and show them love. We don't have to try to change anybody. We don't have to try to judge anybody. All we got to do is just show genuine love to individuals, and just be unified in love. Just be unified in love. Oh Lord, I'm trying to read I always try to read the chat also. So if anybody wanted to come in, but yeah, just be genuine with who we are, and just love, just love unapologetically, and just don't try to change nobody. Just love them. Just love people. You know? So if you would come to an individual, I think this was one of the questions also. If you would come to an individual and you would have to demonstrate to them what unification is, and how would you live this in front of them and show them this every day? How would you explain this to someone? How would you explain this to someone that has a mindset of, divided, the division of the world? How would you explain to come in and be that revolutionary that you have behind your head? Yeah.
Well, I try to just, it's a feeling. It's just a feeling, and I try to you know, maybe it's the way they're dressed, their tattoos, or the music they're listening to, or their children, whatever age. I genuinely care about people, and I am very observant because I don't hear very well and I don't see very well. I developed a sense of of whether people are open, needing a touch of love, just a sense that I have. And then I would try to meet them some way that formed a connection, and then be open to where they lead. And because I think when your intention is clear that you want to unify, then something will be said, and then you will step in and say, well, do you have a plan for that? Just questions, because people have ideas, people have feelings unexpressed, and they're just waiting for someone to ask them, what do you think?
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? What would you do?
Yeah.
What has your experience been? So I'm just always amazed at how the Spirit shows up, because that's what Jesus said. It's necessary for me to go away so that the Spirit can come. And the power of the Holy Spirit. Ooh.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And it is a good thing. We had someone on here talking about unification, right? And someone on here that's a Muslim came on, and because I'm a chaplain, I am like in a faith, right, that I deal with all people, and I love all people, and is able. And this why I say, when that's why I like Isaiah 43 and what it talk about with coming together, with all groups of people, right, is because we all have something in common. All of us have something in common. And when one day I did, I had to go visit someone that was a Muslim, right? And that was the very first thing that he told me, right? That he was a Muslim. And I said, but the thing about it is that we still have something in common. And I said, we love God, right? We love God, so we all have things in common that can bring us together and continue that love and continue to strengthen instead of pulling apart. And when the young man asked me that, I said, oh yeah, you got a place on this platform too. We all have a place on this platform, because we don't, again, without conversation, without being with each other at the table, we don't learn each other. We don't know each other. So that means that we're always going to be apart. And that is not what God desires. He does not desire for us to be apart. He desires for us to be together. One thing that I always tell people, I said, and I don't know exactly where, I'm still studying this about heaven and hell, right? And I know a lot of my Baptist people are going to be mad at me, and all these evangelicals be mad at me. But I don't really know exactly where hell is. I don't really know exactly where heaven is, right? But the thing about it is that when each and every last one of us die, right? Evidently, we're going to be somewhere together, right? So why not try to just get along right here on this earth? We either going to be in one of the H's. I don't know where they are, but we're going to be in one of them. It might be over in Switzerland somewhere. I don't know. All of us might gather up over there, but we're all going to be together somewhere, right? So why come we just can't accomplish that right here on earth? Come together as brothers and sisters, as we are. We are brothers and sisters, right? Because we all came from the same. From my understanding, we all came from the same, right? So that means that we're all somewhere along in there. When you cut me, and if I cut you, we're going to bleed the same blood, right? I don't know what type you have. I'm O. I don't know what type blood you are, but I'm universal, right? And I could give my blood to anyone. So I'm unified with everybody. So why come we can't just live that life and just love each other and don't worry about our indifference, right? Because all of us going to be different in some kind of way because of our opinion and what we believe and what we think, right? What we think, we don't all think the same way, but we can agree that we can all love each other, you know? Oh, you didn't freeze, did you? Don't freeze on me, Leslie.
I lost you there for a second.
Okay. Okay, we're back. Thank you. Yeah, but we can agree on that, right? Just to love each other.
Just God is love.
Oh, he is love. And that's what we should do. We got to love one another. And I'm gonna go back to what David said on the when he asked that question about when we left. Again, was the group still the same? And I am gonna just, like I say, step out on a limb, and I'm gonna say yes, that we learn how to unify with each other, even though each and every last one of us has something different with us. Each and every last one of us.
We're a very diverse group, definitely.
Very diverse. And that's what we should be striving for each and every day, that diversity and inclusiveness. I have this young friend that he always say inclusivity that's going to be the name of my church, inclusivity, right? And I said, but that's what God would desire for us to be in all of our worship places. I think I heard somebody say that on Sunday morning is the most segregated place in the whole world. Is because we all be divided. Every last one, we're divided when it comes to our worship places. But is that what God desired for us to be? Is that how he would?
Well, and that's what Jim Swilley did. He was able, in a very racist county, to have a church that all were welcome, and it was a beautiful time. And from that home base of our church in the now we're just spread all over the world. So it's so big it can't be contained. It's like, go out from the tent, look up, count the stars. Of course you can't count the stars. That's how many people we're out there. We're shining. We're wanting to connect. We're wanting this to be all that it can be.
Yeah.
And I keep coming back to be you. Take care of you. This is how you're going to make the change. This is how people are going to understand love, because you've got to value yourself.
Right.
You've got to know that whatever the gift is, whether you are aware or not, there is a gift. You are here for a reason. There is purpose. And you have to love yourself. You have to love yourself. This is so hard because so much of the church is judgment.
Mm-hmm.
They are different from us. They not them. Okay, maybe some of them. Not, it's just you need a playbook.
Yeah.
No, what are they going to say? Is this going to, and you just can't. That's not love. That's not anything that feels welcoming. That's not anything that is going to unify. That is just always going to be a judgment, a judgment, a judgment. Yeah. You might be in today and out tomorrow, and you've put all your faith in this, and this is not what it is. The faith is the God in you, that you hear, that you listen, that you just be. Just be.
Yeah, I like that. Just be. We do too much. We need to just be. Just be who God would desire, for us to be in this day and time, because there's never have been a time, and what I'm talking about me in my life, that I feel that now is the time to be, because it just seemed like that everybody doing something. Everybody got to do this, do that, right? But when do you just be who you are? When do you just be that, right? And again, that's what I learned so much from, not only Bishop Swirly, but I love Carlton Pearson also, because they speak truth, right? And a lot of people get mad at it because people are so stuck in that traditional thing that, of way the scriptures are being interpreted, right? But a lot of them being interpreted just for a selfish reason, right? Nobody want to go deep into it to show the true meaning of what the scriptures are saying, right? And if you think about it from Genesis all the way to Revelation, the books are talking about love and coming together. All God would desire for us to do is love and come together, right? His children. He wants his children to love and be unified, with all, and stop judging so much, and stop putting people in the 2 of the H's, right? Because we don't have no control over that. That's God's job. The only thing that we should do here as God's workmanship is to show how much we love him, God, and how much we love his children. And that should bring some unification within his people, But I don't know. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't, But I would desire that we would begin to do that. And like you say, the only way that it could start, you have to start within self. When we begin to do this ourselves, be genuine about who we are, then it'll begin to spread like a domino effect.
That's right. We're not trying to be perfect. We're trying to be whole. We're trying to bring together the human and the divine.
Yeah.
And let our light so shine.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the fire that's bringing us together. That's the unification.
That's the fire. That's the fire to let our light. We are to stand on the hill. Sometimes I be thinking about how when Bishop Swirly go out on his on the top of his building, and I be thinking about that sometimes. I say, oh, so you the light on top of the hill, they're spreading that word and stuff. And that's the way, again, you're right, that we should be. We got to be that light. And if we don't be that light, then, oh, what a world, this is going to continue to be if we don't step out and be that good trouble that John Lewis was talking about. We got to be that good trouble. And as Simone says, we have to be I am the revolutionary.
I
I
am the
love that song.
revolution,
I
right?
am the revolution, right? So we have to show all of those things. So Leslie, thank you so much for coming and sharing,
Oh,
with the
I feel so
people.
warmed by your fire.
I,
Thank you for letting me be a part of it.
I feel warm. It's the same here. I just feel that vibe of just love and that unity that we have with each others. The universe has shown that we should always be as one. I
Yeah.
believe that. Yeah.
My sister, I will see you in Chattanooga.
Yes, you will, darling. You most definitely will see me in Chattanooga. I can't wait
And
till that time. Are you
and
you
can I just say to everyone that's watching that I love you and uh, thank you for being here. I felt the energy, and we're all connected. God bless you. Blessings and peace and joy.
Yes. Thank you
Thank you.
so much. And you have an awesome night, okay? And I'll
You
see
too.
you in another week, right?
That's
Is it
right.
next
Week
week?
after next.
Look at there. Okay, I will see you there. All right. Love
Okay.
you. Love you.
Peace.
Peace. All right, guys. Thank you so very much for coming out and listening to Leslie and I. This was really awesome. And we have to know that we have to find unity. Unity brings power, and divided, we fall. United, we stand, guys. So let's begin to walk in the way that God would desire for us to walk in as unity and loving each others and stop judging, just love and let God do that part over there. Okay, I love you guys, and you know what, there's nothing that you could do about it but love me back. Okay, all right, y'all have an awesome one, and I will see you guys next Monday. Okay. And pray for Tasha. She wasn't here tonight, so just pray for her that everything is going well with her. Okay. This is Diane Spirit Love, and you guys have a blessed night. Okay.
The whole thing was amazing.